Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now.
This is madness! No. This is Pirillo! It's kind of funny. One of you guys out there sent me an animated GIF of me as Leonidas battling the Persians. It's kind of funny. And I'll make sure I link to it in my blog post, the corresponding blog post for this video, so that you can see it. It's full glory. It's great. They took my Chris heads and superimposed it over this scene. It's hilarious. Oh, hilarious! The only reason why I'm talking about this is because I've got a top 5 tips list as submitted by Michael Gwindon. And Michael is a community member at large on YouTube. And he also stops by the chat room at live.pirillo.com. He's got top 5 movie theater tips to pass along. I love top 5 lists. Nice and simple. Hey Chris, I love going to the movies. Try to catch at least one flick per weekend. The following are my top 5 tips to follow while attending a film. So we're talking about venturing outside of your walls. You know, I'm the biggest loser of all of us because I never leave. I'm always here. But, you know, leaving this room every once in a while and going out to a movie theater isn't a bad thing. Number 1, turn off your cell phones. Come on. Yes, I know some of you have your cell phones glued to your... and the mere thought of separating it for 2 hours is like murder. It's one of the most annoying things to occur at a theater. I agree. And in fact, have you noticed all the things that roll, like, not commercials, but public service announcements that roll before the movie starts? They play at least 5 of those. Turn off your cell phones, turn off your mobile devices, turn off your pagers, turn off your this, turn off your that. I swear, I've seen at least 5 of them now. And still, there's always one idiot in the theater who has it turned on. At least one. Are you the idiot? Because if you're the idiot, so help me. Don't make me stay in this room, because I will. Number 2, keep talking to your friends and or girlfriend, boyfriend to the bare minimum. Oh, keep the talking to a bare minimum, with the exception of laughter in a comedy. Oh, so true. And you know, what's even worse than that is if you go out with someone, and I mean, it's understandable if you're watching a movie and they didn't hear what happened. You said, what did he say? What did he say? And then you tell them what it was said. But what's even worse, if you go see a sequel, only go with someone who saw the first one, so that they don't turn to you the whole time. Who's that again? What's going on? Wait, I thought, how does that work? It was the most. I love my friends and family members, but it's so frustrating when you go to a sequel and they do that to you. It's like, oh God, forget about it. Oh, baby's crying, that's annoying. You know, they actually, and this is, I'm going to slide this tip in there, for families, some theaters have a matinee during the day, where you can basically bring your kids, and everybody brings their kids. So if kids are crying, it's no big deal because everybody's got their kids. Some theaters do that as a friendliness to the community at large. In fact, that's one of the tips here. Go to a matinee. The early shows I attend only cost $5. With tip number, the early one, and your total cost for going to the movies is only $5. Well, and his other tip regarding price is bringing your own snacks and pop. Pop? This guy must be from the Midwest. Well, so am I. That's what I call it. I call it pop. Some people call it soda. Some people call it pop. I call it pop. Don't call it that in Texas. In Texas, you call it Coke. Even though it may not be Coke, it may be Pepsi, but you call it Coke anyway. This is a big money-saving tip that I always follow. Not sure if it's against the rules of the theater, but I always sneak them in. And you know what? Ponzi and I also sneak in snacks as well, because, you know, you've had one Sour Patch Kid inside, you might as well have one outside. It's the same thing. And, you know, maybe they're, you know, crazy about it these days, but I have yet to be busted for it. You know, I don't bring my own popcorn. I mean, I'm not fanatical about it, although I don't even know what kind of popcorn they really serve at theaters these days. It doesn't resemble popcorn anymore. It's covered with butter and hydrogenated junk. Number 5, look into the film you're about to go to. A little research goes a long way. I've seen a lot of crap at the movies, but for the most part, I usually pick out a good one through word of mouth and the internets. Thank you, Michael. Appreciate that top 5 list. I think the worst movie I ever saw in the theater, almost got up and walked out on. Well, I almost walked out of Independence Day because of that whole virus on a Mac floppy disk thing that they tried to pull off at the end. But one of the worst movies I think I ever saw in the theaters, and literally, I almost walked out, Ghost Dad with Bill Cosby. Theo Rudy. That was seriously, it was a bad movie. I mean, it was a bad movie. Sorry, any Ghost Dad fans out there. You're wrong. You're just wrong. And that movie was wrong. I want, if there's any part of my life I want back, it's the time that I spent in. I don't even want my money back. I just want that part of my. They can keep the money. I want that part of my life back. And hopefully you don't feel the same way after watching this video of the top 5 tips to keep in mind in the movie theater. Now, do you have any different movie theater tips? Do you have any movie tips? Do you have any other kind of tips that are related to anything at all? I'd love to share it with the rest of the community at YouTube and, of course, in our chat room. Now, if you want to mail me your top 5 tips, my email address is chris@pirillo.com. Email me anytime. I may be watching a movie, and I won't be reading your email when I am watching the movie, but I'll look at your email after I'm done watching the movie because I don't want to be rude. Right? Unless it's a Ghost Dad, in which case just shoot me, because if I ever see that movie again, I'll be dead. I will have either killed myself or someone around me who has forced me to watch Ghost Dad. Hopefully you've got a sense of humor about that whole